How much are you willing to spend on a high-end luxury designer bag? Like, what is the number off the top of your head that you are most comfortable with? Or do you not have one? Like, the sky is legit the limit. Mine used to be between 3 to 5K for a regular high-end designer bag, and I would make exceptions for essentially Hermes alone, which I had put my max at $16,000. And to me, I honestly thought those were reasonable numbers just based on how much your average designer bag retails for new in store and how much your average Birkin or Kelly retails for pre-loved. And even then, 16K is on the lower end, especially if we're talking about a Birkin or Kelly 25. So I don't know what happened or when, but one day I just woke up and thought those numbers were plain ludicrous, and I haven't snapped out of it yet. So what is my new threshold these days, and what will that realistically get me? Stick around if you are curious, and better yet, let me know down in the comments below what you think is worth buying these days. Welcome back to your Briefcase of Luxury, where we love to chat about all things related to life, learning, and luxury. While I have no intentions of quitting my day job as a business professor, I would love to continue to grow this channel, so thank you for being here today. I know plenty of us have gone down the same path, especially those of us who are older and have been buying bags for, let's say, 10, 20, or 30 years. But I remember being young and broke in my early 20s with my entry-level corporate paycheck and just feeling so accomplished when I am finally able to save up enough money to spend that money on the designer bag I had set my heart on. Now, to my benefit, I was deathly afraid of credit cards back then. So it really was a matter of just having a dream bag fund and putting a little towards it each paycheck until I had enough to buy it with my bank debit card. And relative to now, my dream handbags cost a lot less back then, but the effort to save was tremendous, right? And fast forward to today, the thought of putting in that same level of effort now just doesn't have that same appeal anymore. And what's ironic is, thankfully, I've had quite a number of pay raises since then, and yet I find myself less and less willing to part with my money for a designer bag. And I wonder if it's because designer bags no longer have the same appeal to me anymore, and maybe that's the reason why I no longer find them worth it. So if we were to be real and talk about what I find worth spending money on these days, what actually makes my life luxurious, then really, yeah, designer bags aren't that important in the grand scheme of life, but my health is. And looking and feeling good in my body is just a happy side effect. So this video is kind of like an extension to one that I made earlier about how to actually afford luxury. And I did mention that, like, I no longer spend designer money on designer skincare or makeup because the proper supplements and active ingredients just far outweigh anything that designer skincare or makeup can offer. I talked about ready-to-use glow supplements, which if you aren't taking anything along the lines of biotin or collagen and you are wanting to see skin improvements, then what are you even doing? I also mentioned how having good health is a luxury, especially as you get older. Like, my husband and I have a full supplement routine that may seem excessive to some. I'll see if I have a screenshot of what I actually currently take right now, but we've always been active and we want to stay active and in shape for as long as possible. And thankfully, Ready To does have all of your basic supplements covered if you want to take the guesswork out of which supplements to take for what. So in addition to their glow supplement, I've just started on their Move supplement. Again, I don't want to get too far off topic, but this is something that's near and dear to my heart. Like, fun fact, prior to starting this channel, I thought I was going to start a fitness channel because it really doesn't matter if you're wearing a $1,000 Hermes bikini or a $10 Walmart bikini. If you look and feel good, you look and feel good. Now, I do strength train regularly because preventing muscle loss is important. So having a daily stretching routine and taking supplements that help with joint mobility is an absolute must for me. Like, especially if I want to keep pushing myself physically. Like, I want to be in my 70s and still have abs and still be doing pull-ups and deadlifts, okay? Like, I want that more than I want a Kelly 25. So a huge shout out to Ready To again for continuing to offer y'all a discount. I'm not paid or sponsored by them. I just truly believe in what they are doing. They have a blockchain traceable ingredient list so you can learn about what goes into their supplements and where they are sourced from. You can also opt to join their subscription model so you'll never have to worry about running out. And they do have other supplements that can help with sleep, stress, and immunity. So please invest in your health before you invest in handbags, which I know is rich, especially since we are primarily a handbag channel and we're obviously going to be talking about handbags for the rest of this video. Now, not to beat a dead horse, but some of the most common complaints we are hearing these days are about price versus quality versus lack of innovation, however innovative handbags can get. We have seen never-ending price increases with stagnated or even declining quality, and at the same time, people are complaining that new releases are boring or repetitive. Like everyone is releasing bags that are indistinguishable from each other. Like every brand has the same slouchy hobo bag, a belted bag, an east-west bag, the Lindy handle loopy situation. So yeah, for a lot of people, these issues packaged together is the source of their frustration. Now, for me, in the past year, almost year and a half, I have found the value that I find in designers' bags, especially those new from store, to have plummeted, right? Like the price increases are unproportional to the quality and style that you get in return relative to what I remember as being the heyday of luxury. And as a result, I have not been able to bring myself to buy anything new from store besides my mid-tier contemporary purchases from MZ Wallace, Coach, and more recently Marc Jacobs. I really haven't bought anything new from store for over a year now. I bought my David Yurman cable bracelet for under $500, and before that, I bought a pair of Prada sneakers that were on sale from 24S, but everything else this past year has been bought pre-loved and for under retail, with the vintage Murakami Louis Vuitton bag back there being the exception. I paid a premium relative to the vintage price, but still nowhere near the premiums for the 2025 collection, which I've already ranted about in another video. But the other issue I recognize is that I have a pretty decent collection. It's not as big as some people here on YouTube, but I definitely feel like I have more than the average. Google's AI overview suggests that the average American woman owns about 11 handbags, but on the different purse forums, we clearly have a selection bias because the number is a lot higher. And so for me, it could be because I'm at or even beyond the saturation point where I have more bags than I can realistically use. There's less of an inclination to keep wanting to buy more. And maybe I'm just a lot harder to please compared to back then when I had nothing. Now, there's also this phenomenon where you typically end up buying better the longer you buy. Hence, we all start with Coach and the likes, and then we move up to Louis. And if we keep moving up, it's Dior. And if we keep moving up, it's Chanel and Hermes, right? Like that's a fairly predictable pattern. And when you're at that level, when let's say you own multiple Hermes bags, there comes a point where it just doesn't make sense to keep going forward because A, there's nowhere really forward to go besides backwards, and B, unless you are into the blue boxes or the exotics, you're kind of just there accumulating more Birkins and Kellys. Now, I am not denying that Hermes has yet to be dethroned when it comes to quality and craftsmanship, not just in name and status, but am I really someone that needs all of my bags to be of top tier quality and craftsmanship, valued at over like $10,000 each? Like, I personally don't buy the most high quality groceries or furniture or stationery or kitchenware. Like I've had some of my IKEA furniture for almost a decade and they've survived countless moves, including intercontinental moves, and they're still holding up perfectly fine. So why do I need all of my handbags to be of Hermes top tier quality? Like, am I that rough with them that they won't survive otherwise, or that I need multiples to spread out the wear and tear? So back to my numbers. I used to think 3 to 5K was respectable, and in a way it still is. Most of your designer bags still fall into that price range, which realistically speaking, that range just takes Chanel completely off the playing field, right? I don't think Chanel has any bag for under 5K. Let me know if that sounds about right. Like even their walks are now $3,700, which I simply have no words. So I'm not even gonna waste my time at Chanel. But take Bottega, for instance, for around 3K, you can get something like the cassette or the Andiamo clutch or mini hop. Closer to the 5K mark, you can get something like a small Andiamo or the small Chow Chow. But I honestly don't know if I find any of those bags worth it. So right now, I think the only bag that I would be willing to buy new from Bottega is their dust bag. It was under 2K last year. It's now about 2,250. But I honestly think that's the limit of how much I am willing to pay for a new Bottega bag from store. With a similar brand like Loewe, the mini flamenco will set you back about $2,600, the mini puzzle for about $2,850. So yeah, you can get some of your more iconic Loewe bags for under $3K, and $5K is actually quite a bit on the high end. Like the majority of their bags won't run you more than $5K, and the ones that do, it's just a matter of size, right? Like you'd be opting for the large Madrid or the large squeeze. So for Loewe, it's really easy to stay under that $5K range. And this is one of those brands that I've always liked, but I've never prioritized. So despite the fact that most of their bags fall into my range of tolerance, I can't see myself wanting to buy anything more than the puzzle fold pouch, which currently retails for $1,800. And even then, that's a tough pill to swallow because last summer, that same puzzle fold pouch was on sale on 24S for $1,200 in their classic neutral honey brown color, no less. Now, Celine is another brand where most of their bags fall well within that $3 to $5K range. They also have a large selection for under $3K as well because they have a lot of bags in canvas. Now, since I don't own any Celine canvas, I can see me making an exception for something like the small canvas Boston for $1,850, maybe even the small canvas Heloise for $2,300. That's still high for canvas, for those of you who remember how much Louis Vuitton canvas used to cost. Oh, and not to get too sidetracked, like even if I could get something from Goyard at the $2K price point, I still can't do it. Like their canvas is just too flimsy for my taste at any of Goyard's price points. I guess what I'm trying to say is apparently when I'm shopping online now, I'm a sort by lowest price type girl. Granted, I've never been a sort by highest price type person. It's no longer sort by newest or best selling. So just out of curiosity, how do you sort? Are you a sort by relevance type person, by newest, by highest price, by lowest price? But for me, just the fact that I now strictly seem to be a sort by lowest price type person all the time, every time, my tolerance no longer seems to be at that $3 to $5K mark, but more realistically, it's more like under the $2.5K mark. So I may need to start doing more research on what bags retail for under $2,500 that I actually think are worth $2,500. Now, thankfully, that goes a lot farther on the pre-loved market and you can get a lot more bag for your buck. And last but not least, back to my $16K max for a pre-loved Hermes Kelly. Honestly, at this point in time, it's a no. I don't want another bag that's such high dollar. I already have a Birkin, any Constance. Yeah, there is the pull to complete the triad with the Kelly, but is it because I really want the Kelly or because I want my collection to feel complete? Maybe in the future I'll change my mind again, but at the moment, yeah, I just can't do it. If it's over $2,500, I can't bring myself to buy it. Plus, I already took some of that money to buy my mini plume instead, so I've essentially closed the door on the Kelly for this year at least. So let me know what your threshold is at the moment. Has it gone up? Has it gone down? Has it stayed the same? And if you have good suggestions for new bags from store for under $2,500 that you think are worth the price tag, please drop me a comment down below. Anyways, thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. And if you enjoyed your time here, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I can't wait to see you next time.